Greetings and salutations! Welcome to the Grand Circus. I'm Bajongles. If you like my stuff, make sure to like and subscribe. Follow me over on Twitch at Bajongles1, where I stream on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, noon Pacific Standard Time. I would much appreciate a follow there. Speaking of follow, you can follow me over on my socials, both at Big1 username Bajongles on Bluesky and Tumblr. Much appreciated. Now back to your regularly scheduled program. Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody? I'm doing pretty okay. Night before last, so day before yesterday, I made the mistake of taking my meds in the afternoon because I was working on a paper, and so that night I didn't get to sleep because my meds wore off at 4 in the morning. Now, last night I got a good amount of sleep, but I'm still tired, so I'm sorry, bear with me. Uh, doesn't mean I'm doing poorly. I'm doing pretty good. Ugh. I'm very excited. Well, I'm always excited, so I don't know why I specify, but I'm excited. Because today we're gonna be working more on that city, Marrowhurst. Because like I want to get more on it done before we really get into the rebels within it and maybe some other factions. I don't know. I'm kind of focusing on the rebels right now. Uh, just throughout all of Hartford, and so maybe like I'll and so like I want to do that and then maybe get more into the details. Hmm. Sorry, I have water. I'm very hydrated. I'm so hydrated. Um, yeah, no, so there's that. Last time, actually, let me get music situated. Uh, last time um, we worked a bit on like starting the city of Marrowhurst. We've decided that it's gonna be in three different rings. The outer ring is the poorer area, sort of the middle area, like the middle ring represented, and then the center, like with that what is like in there too. And so now I kind of want to go into more specifics. Uh, but here's Outer Wilds. And now I will go into a time because I don't have a different screen for this. Behold. Hmm. Marrowcrest. Oh, not Marrowcrest. Marrowhurst. I am so silly. Yeah, Marrowhurst. Marrowhurst. It's like Canehurst, but Marrow. I forgot I forgot to change the stream title to what I actually wanted. I go through a couple iterations in the mornings of like, does this one work? If Come on, there we go. Stream title has been changed. It is now Fate and Boys Make Do. Because I think I think the Country Girls Make Do meme is very funny. Hmm. Oh, I thought that was a loose nail or something. Oh, that's good. So my desk is situated in a set of custom-made shelves, uh, built, designed and built by yours truly. And I was worried that there was a loose nail or something. Because that means it's less secure than I thought it was. But we are good. We are fine. We're amazing. Yeah, things are great. And yes, I can make furniture. No, that does not mean I can make it well. I mean, these shelves turn out very good, I think, but they're not exactly fancy. Like, I wouldn't say they're fancy shelves, but they're good. They're serving me lovely. Alright, there we go. And now we can get to, more of Marrowhurst. I believe. Let me get more water. Water is yummy. There we go. Let me actually get rid of that on Krita, just so I can have the map open. Feels like we might work on the map some today as well. I love every chance I get to work on it. It's just sometimes I'm like, I should work on it, and then I don't. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Illness of the mental variety. Alright, the volume is coming in good for you guys, in terms of the music, which is very good. Oh, this reminds me, I think maybe because Hartford is like more loyal to the status quo. That's the point of like Baron Mordbo. Is that like she's your classic liberal status quo type person. I was like, things need to go back to the way they were, right? So I think she's the most loyal to the Count, and therefore I think maybe the Count lives in Marrowhurst. But we'll get to that later. There we go. Okay, that explains some things for me. Okay. And now, look at that. We have these things like nested in here. Look. That's very good, very Gucci. Let me do this just for fun. We It just keeps going. Okay, why that is unlinked to anything is weird to me because look. Like It's connected to a lot of stuff through links. Yeah, broken deal, in conflict with, loyal to, agent of. Members of them. They're all the married men. And then there's the Workers' Front, the City Rebels. I think maybe there are some of the Workers' Front. Very working title, by the way. But. Like I think there are some in the city, but that's not important right now. As a rite of passage amongst my friend group, we are going to add a place here in the Outer Ring called the Rat's Nest. Down here, down in the Rat's Nest. Yeah, no, that's not how it goes. Down here, we make our own beer. Each day's a fest down in the Rat's Nest. Yeah, no, there's gonna be a place called the Rat's Nest. I think instead of a tavern or pub or whatever, it is going to be similar to a place known as the Ramblings in the Septimus Heat books, where it's like a tight, like, tunnel warren of like poor people and buildings. Almost a bit like the Kowloon Walled City in real life, where like businesses and schools and stores and residences all like packed tightly together in a place where there's like little to no like oversight, and where it kind of has its own culture a bit compared to the rest of the city. Like, that would be cool. And then we'll have the docks. Or actually, no, the docks. Then I think there's a separate place that is the shipyard. The shipyard is different than the docks because the shipyard is where the ships are made and repaired. The docks are where goods and people come in and out. Okay, the Rat's Nest. Okay, yeah, the Rat's Nest, the docks, the shipyard. Fantastic. And then we'll go more into what these mean. Yeah, the Rat's Nest, the docks, the shipyard. I think in the middle ring there is the ooh. What's a good title for like a religious figure? Like a very important but not like the most important religious figure. Hold on. Fantasy name generators, do not fail me now. Religious. I don't want religious commandments generator. Temple names, not right now. Chivalric order generator, no. Cult name generator, I will keep you for later. Actually, no, I will do chivalric order generator. Kind of like the custodian square. Yeah, the custodian's square, and I believe like its main draw is that this is where a lot of like local and farther off like merchants and like you know, business people sell their wares. I mean, they do it all the time, obviously, right? But this is like the big event. Like, I definitely think that there are multiple markets all over the place where people just sell their goods, and they just sort of pop up where there are more businesses. But like people go to this to sell their stuff because it's big and cool, and I think that it is nearby a religious building, like a particularly important religious building. Which I'm not sure about yet, but we'll figure that out. Okay. The Custodian Square. Okay, and so here's the thing with medieval guilds, right? They had bits and pieces of like the city, like their own neighborhoods, where basically just the guild lived and worked. And so and so because the middle is filled with like merchants, scribes, craftsmen, this sort of thing, I think that there is especially strong guild presence here. Like there's definitely a dock workers guild, uh, right? Like, I definitely think that there is that. I think there might be a farmers guild. So, well, I feel like a lot of guild places are going to be important spots here. Yeah, there's the rat's nest. There's okay, so the docks, I believe maybe there should be a place near the docks where like all the dock workers live. And I think it should be the something quarter. Hmm. Ha 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 ha. All right, okay. let's keep it simple and have it be something like the like Waterside Quarter. Yeah, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. Hmm. I think I'll just call it Dockyard Quarter. There we go. And I think it'll connect to the, no, let's not do that. Okay. Yeah, no, let's not go there. It is a silly place. I'm thinking. Okay, so there's the Custodian Square. Let's see. Cobbler's Way. That is where the cobblers live. They are very important. Okay, yeah, okay. I may actually get rid of that. Just cause like I think the dock workers live on the docks actually. I think maybe that's the case. Custodian Square, Cobbler's Way. Let's see. Okay. I don't think okay. So there are definitely like artisans and stuff that live here, but I don't think everybody has a guild. I don't think everybody has a guild. I'm trying to think of all the people that would have guilds. There's definitely a weaponers guild. Hmm. You know what? Instead of trying to find clever names for them right now, I think I'm just gonna describe what they are and give them names later. All you want out? There we go, ma'am. There we go, ma'am. Go eat food. I got you guys lunch earlier. Come on. Come on out. Come on. You don't want out. If you're not gonna go out, then I can't have the door open. It doesn't stay open at an angle. Or it doesn't. It'll just like go all the way open. There we go. The view. Alright. Alright, cat no longer in my room. Old woman will now be getting food, I hope. Alright. I'm just gonna say Armorers Guild area, Cobblers. Yeah, Cobblers Guild area, Armorers Guild area, let's see, Cobblers, Armorers. I think that the Smiths, the metal smiths. Yeah, Smiths Guild area. Okay, yeah, Cobblers, Armorers, Smiths, Merchant. Uarter. There we go. That is what spelling is for. My boy. This spelling is what all true warriors strive for. Golly, it sure is boring around here. Okay, so yeah, there's armor smiths, merchants. I think smiths is general enough that it can fit, like, it could be like, you know, blacksmiths, goldsmiths, coppersmiths, you know, just smiths. Smithing all sorts of things. Merchant's Quarter, they definitely, like, carve out a space for themselves, be very, especially opulent. Carpenters are always important. Uh, Scribe? The scribes definitely... God, the scribes probably have so much influence, because they're the ones writing everything. Oh God, no! The magic users would also have like a mage's quarter. Yeah. And probably some weird stuff goes on over there. The cat is already scratching on my door to get back in, but I don't want her. But also, that's gonna give me sensory issues, so fine. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, the Custodian Square, Cobbler's Guild area, Armorer's Guild, Smith's Guild, Merchant's Guild, Carpenter's Guild, Scribes Guild, Mages Guild. Fuck, right, the tailors. I don't. Okay, despite the importance of beer, and not just beer, but like ale, wine, booze, I don't know if there's a guild for it. Because at this time in history, making out like in real life, making alcohol was considered quote unquote women's work. That is a thing that was done in the home, like cheese making. And I don't think that women were allowed in guilds. It was more an act of supplementary income until like the Industrial Revolution. So maybe like that by itself, I think maybe not, because in this setting, women are just able to hold more positions and generally just like are able to have businesses and you know keep money and their own that type of shit. So it's not exactly realistic to the real world at the time, because like I don't know. I don't know. There's a woman in this county that is a baron, Baron Morbo. So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to like be in guilds. I don't know. I don't know. But again, I don't think there's a Brewers Guild. Let me look that up. Brewers Guild. Medieval Europe. Eh, let me see. Let's see. As a result, female brewers and alewives in the late 14th and 15th centuries, which is after the time in Europe that I'm basing this off of, face one of two fates: greater profit or marginalization within the trade. Women who managed to remain uh in the ale trade were usually married, widowed, or had unusual access to money and capital for a craftswoman. The rest of the women engaged in the trade, particularly occasional or part-time brewers, lost the ease of market entry and economic stability they formerly had as ale brewers. In the time in history that I'm basing off of, they still have that ease of market entry and economic stability. And also, I think it's more not entirely evenly gendered, but more evenly gendered in this setting rather than in real life. So I feel like there are definitely some male brewers. I see you, stupid ass bot. I'm here to get you. I'm getting you. These women either found other trades or methods for self-support, marriage, prostitution, etc., or remained in the ale trade as tipplers and tapsters employed by male brewers. Right, right, tapster. Yeah, like a tapper, like a jerk. You know, the person that's at the taps, pouring the drinks. Bartender. What is a tippler? Okay. Another way the womenfolk were employed were as tipplers, who carried the freshly brewed ale in vessels on their backs to various household clients. Okay, so they were a tippler was a delivery person for booze. All right. All right, that is good to know. Okay. That is very good to know. We are learning today. That is not necessarily relevant because this is based on the 11 and 1200s. So, like, we do not need to focus on that right now. That's maybe for later. But that does remind me to make a... Because it brought up prostitution. It reminded me to... Near the docks, but not in the docks, there's probably some sort of red light district. That'd be interesting. That'd be very interesting to go into. Okay. The Custodian Square is rather important. Okay, the Rat's Nest. I don't think the Rat's Nest would count as, like, the slums. You know? Like, I don't think I don't think they'd count as, like, the slum area. Even though they're not great. Because I fully believe it's, like, a little town within the town. You know, it's a little city within the city. With, like, all its own stuff in there, and then the outer city just kind of doesn't touch that. Whereas I think that the slums are bad. The slums The rat's nest, the slums. Okay, let's see. Trying to think of what else I want to do with the. I'll figure it out. Let's see, Armorers Guild, Smiths Guild, the Merchants Guild, Carpenters Guild, Scribes Guild, Mages Guild, Tailors Guild. Tanners! Yeah, Tanners Guild. There also needs to be a Tanners Guild, because you know how important it is to everybody else to have leather? Like not just leather, parchment, which is skin, I believe. Let me look that up. Is the term parchment is a general term for an animal skin which it has been prepared for writing or painting. By the way, I'm getting this from nationalarchives.gov as a source. I have a Google add-on that gets rid of the AI feature on my Google. And so I generally trust the stuff I get a little bit more. Parchment has been made for centuries and is usually calf, goat, or sheepskin. The term vellum, from the French veau, V-E-A-U, refers to parchment made from calf skin. Yeah, I believe... did tanners make parchment? In medieval Europe. Oh, but yeah, it was tanners. And it wouldn't be, I'm looking at this, it wouldn't be generally until the 14th century when, like, abbeys would take care of, like, tanning their vellum, like, themselves. So I think we're fine on having the Tanners Guild take care of parchment. Which means that the Tanners Guild supplies the scribes with parchment. Same with the scribes and the mages, and with leather to the Armorers Guild and the Cobblers Guild. And the Smiths Guild supplies things like nails to cobblers, armorers, carpenters, maybe mages, and the tanners, and maybe tailors. It depends on what they're tailoring. Also, not everybody that works in these guilds lives in the middle ring. I think a lot of the people that work for these guilds may also be in the outer ring. But like they're not specifically in the guild areas. They just sort of live. Hmm. You know, that's what I'm thinking. I think that this is okay. Would there be a farmers guild? Were there farmers guilds in medieval Europe? What is a haberdasher? Haberdasher. Small items such used in sewing, such as buttons, zippers, and thread. What the fuck is a notion? Okay, let's see. North American English items used in sewing, such as buttons, pins, and hooks. Okay, I knew of a notion such as a conception of or belief about something, like having a notion, right? That makes sense. I knew about that one. I think they may have been subsumed into the tailors, maybe, or maybe not. But I don't think they have their own area. You see, in North America, uh, a haberdashery is men's clothing and accessories, whereas a British English, small items used in sewing such as buttons, zippers, and threads, notions. And so I think I'm gonna be using the British version of that, considering this is based on 11 and 1200s, like medieval England. Yeah, that's my thought on the whole thing. But I don't think they have their own area. Like, I think that they work inside the Tailors Guild area. I think just that general area. Because they would naturally work closely with the tailors and everybody. Sorry, I had a random thought that I wanted to look up that's completely unrelated to this. Where was this? Da, 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 da. I love ADHD because I was like, man, where, completely unrelated. Where was The Simpsons like made? And it is not telling me, but it is telling me that Springfield is based off of Springfield, Oregon. So I'll claim it. I will claim The Simpsons. But I mean, it makes sense because there's like a street in Springfield, Oregon called Flanders. You know, like Ned Flanders. So it makes sense. I'll claim The Simpsons. Okay, I think that this is a good amount of like guild areas until we figure out more. I think this is fine. I think this is good. Hmm. Also, I think a fair few people like from the outer ring go into the middle ring to get things. But I think it's too expensive for many of them to live there. And like there are probably like, you know, stores and shops and places like that in the outer ring. But I don't think that they're like specialized neighborhoods like there are in the middle ring. You know? I'll look at that later. I'll look more into Brewsters and Brewers later. Because they are important, but I must look into them another time. Okay. The innermost section of the city is the Castle Town. This is where they keep the residence of the Lord Mayor, as well as any administrative buildings, wealthy estates, and even a prestigious university. Reside. Marrowhurst. I'm gonna call it the University of Marrowhurst. Yeah, the University of Marrowhurst. Which makes sense because places like Cambridge and Oxford, they're just named after the places where they popped up. And so I think that one day in the future people will just say, "Oh yeah, I went to Marrowhurst." But I think that this university is new. I think that this place was, like, pretty much just put in. And I think that it's mostly a place where, like, nobles bring their children, mages go to learn shit. Uh, you know, like clergy of whatever the religion ends up being, like go here locally to study. It's one of those places. The Marrowhurst. Temple. I'm gonna call it a temple so that it's more neutral. Because, like, okay, so a cathedral is specifically Catholic cathedral. A church is specifically, like, you know, a church. A mosque is a mosque, a synagogue is a synagogue, but I feel like temple is a much more neutral name. I'm gonna call it the Marrowhurst Temple until I come up with a fun name for insert religion here. Which will get more detail once I figure it out. The University of Marrowhurst, Marrowhurst Temple. Marrowhurst. Keep. The nobles quarter. Let me call it the gold quarter. No. Crown's Way. I think Crown's Way is a good name for it. Yeah, Crown's Way is a good name for it, I think, so I shall keep it. I think there's also a tower here where the court mage lives. I think, okay, there's definitely a courthouse. Mage's Tower. Okay, so here's what I think about the Hartford Society. I think that magic users are not very well liked unless they are properly trained and certified within the Mages Guild and like the University of Marrowhurst. Because like at that point, you can trust them; they're sanctioned. They are upstanding members of society. Whereas, like, you don't know what an unsanctioned mage is gonna do. They could turn your bones into snakes. They could make your teeth jump out of your face and dance around on the table. You don't know what they're gonna do. They could just explode. And so all that to say, they like wizards. Like class wise, they like wizards more than like sorcerers. Clerics and paladins are different. They are holy people, and generally, depending on the deity and stuff, can be trusted. Right? They can be trusted, but I don't think people generally trust like sorcerers. And God, nobody trusts warlocks. No, nobody likes warlocks. Like, what do you mean you made a deal with somebody? We don't know what you made the deal with. And so warlocks do not go around calling themselves warlocks. They do not usually dress in the dark, foreboding warlock robes. Like, dark foreboding robes are for specific, like, religious cults. And when I say religious cults, I mean, like, cults in the Roman sense. Like the cult of Dionysus, or you know. Yeah, that type of shit, where it's like, yeah, this is a deity that we recognize, but also, like, they're really for it. Right? Like there are probably death deities or deities of the dead, right? And there's probably a religious cult that like not denying the existence or the worth of worship of the other deities, but like focusing on their main guy, you know? And like they focus more on like death rites and that kind of thing. Like that makes sense to me. And those people are fine. But I think that warlocks who make deals with weird entities and demons and devils which just exist in this setting. You know, fiends exist in this setting. I just haven't gotten into them yet because I haven't thought about them. They are not trusted very much. Like, here's the main difference between what I'm doing here and real life medieval times. This is not their religion is not Christianity or basically Christianity or Catholicism or whatever underneath a different coat. I want to base it more on like Roman religion where there's home deity, there are like private deities, home deities, and then there's the state religion. And the state religion has multiple different deities in it. And an entire priestly class. And like different like little groups within their like focus their time and their worship and their all that on different deities more so than the others, but still, like, you know, give service to the others, because, like, what do you mean you're not doing shit for the storm deity? Do you want my crops to get washed away? Like that kind of shit. So talking about the Marrowhurst temple is definitely very good. Also, I think that these different like baronies, like the people generally like focus on a similar pantheon, but like emphasize their worship to different gods. Or like they are worshipped differently when they're the same deity. Because like here's the thing about classic religion. Canon is bullshit. Like, canon is completely bullshit. People will believe different things based on time and location and the other people around them that believe whatever they will. Ugh. And so I think the Civil War is a very good way to be like, yeah, no, these people are starting to believe different because they're like, well, the guys you like are the guys I don't like because fuck you. I think I think that's cool. I think that's very cool. Da, 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 da. Like I don't want this to balloon too much into like too big, right? But also I don't want it to be too small. Also, I think the neighboring kingdom believes in a similar-ish group of gods because similar cultural influences and stuff just tends to mingle, you know? But I think that they're different. Like they're different in the way that like Roman gods and Greek gods are different, where it's like they're kind of the same, but they're also different. Like the Etruscans got the Greek gods, added their own in there, and then the Romans took the Etruscan deities and did their own thing. And then added back in a bit more Greek influence. Plus added in the really interesting system of like household deities and like personal protector spirits. Like that's just interesting, and I want to play around with it. That being said, I will be right back. So sit back, relax, enjoy the music, maybe get up, stretch your legs, get a snack, get some water. I will return. Do not mind me. I have returned with water. Alright, there we go. Wow, that was loud when I put on my headphones yet again. But yeah, no, I'm back. Hi. Wap, 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 wap. Also, a lot of these places will have links to new areas, I think. Because I want, like, Marrowhurst is gonna be an important, part of the whole barony. Barony. I'm thinking. You can tell because I'm the thinker. Okay, let us see. Okay, so there's the university, there's the temple, there's the keep, there's the Crownsway, there's the yeah, there's the courthouse, which is more like the legal court. This is where the lawyers are and shit. The Mage's Tower, which the Mage's Tower is gotta be based off of the tower in Septimus Heap, which I enjoy greatly, and I will be reading in the book read along series once I get all that shit up and running. Where like there's a bunch of there are different layers of mages and stuff with like we're talking about Septimus Heap right now. I'm not gonna take all this one for one necessarily, but there are ordinary wizards, which are like basically the wizard office workers. They are doing wizard work, and general like wizard scribery and stuff like that. Uh, and then there's the extraordinary wizard, who is the head of the wizards. Basically, they are the wizard manager. And they you know they delegate work, that sort of thing. They have a lot of power and influence in the castle in Septimus Heap. They choose an apprentice to like replace them, and so like when they either die or retire, and that extraordinary wizard's apprentice is Septimus Heap for most of the book series, and so we learn a fair bit about that, and it's very cool. So I'm thinking maybe I want to like base the wizards like that, or like the mages in Hartford like that. 'Cause I think they are different in Krauberg. Everybody has mages because you'd be stupid to not use magic when one side has fucking wizards who can fireball an entire an entire like small group of soldiers. Like, what use is your cavalry when lightning bolt and then they're dead? Like, what? Like, you need to also have wizards. And so definitely I think a big part of like the mage's education is for them to go into the Hartford military. And like in this whole Civil War, I feel like the baronies are definitely starting to act more like independent states. Like the baronies and the counties and the lordships and all that are like fighting. like they're all fighting each other. I feel like right now in this time, they're definitely acting a bit more like independent states. Now there will be a time in the future in this war where like larger sides start to form. But I don't think that that is right now. I think that is a few years off. Huh. Like, I'm not saying this particular kingdom is necessarily large. It's not small, but I don't know if it's large. Like, the entire area of the county, like, the county of Faden. Faden is a small county on, like, the edge of the kingdom. And there's probably, like, 20-something counties in this entire kingdom. Like 24 to 26, I'm thinking, in the entire kingdom. Hmm. Which is why I'm focusing on one county and its problems in all this before I move on to others and have those books. I want this to be a big fucking setting. Like this entire world, I want this to be a big world with multiple different cool ass books for people to have for themselves and take stuff from. Let me go to OBS and then let me make this invisible for a moment so that I can show the map. Like, this entire map, once it's done, is gonna be the entire county. And this is not a small land area, mind you. Right? Like, this is a pretty decent tract of land. Like, I fully believe, like, being relatively well-traveled, like, somebody could like move around this entire space and have it not feel cramped. Right? There's multiple towns, multiple cities, like quite a few villages. Like multiple forests, relatively a bit, like relatively large amounts of like grassland, like with interspersed like thickets. This isn't a bay. This is a sound. Sounds are relatively large. And let me get this whole thing. And then like all this coastline. Like this is not small. Like, this is definitely not necessarily country size, but like, I, I don't know how to specify it more, but like it's you can have an entire life here. You can have an entire life that is like completely well lived just in the barony of like the barony of Hartford, right? Or like the barony of Swindon or Crawburg. Maybe not. Maybe not Crawburg. Crawburg's in a rough state. We'll get to that later. Yeah, we'll get to them. Yeah. Uh, yeah, not a small size. Now let me turn this back on. There we go. Uh, okay, I greatly apologize. I will be right back for real this time. I'll once again sit back, relax, enjoy the music. I will return shortly. I apologize for that. I am now back for real and for true this time. Oh wow, that was a fun buffer. Like genuinely, that was very fun. Like for me, it was like I'm back reeling for true this time. Like I was some sort of glitching out robot. Like I was a robot. Marrowhurst Keep, Crown's Way, the Courthouse, Mage's Tower. I think this is mostly. I think this is mostly good. I think this is mostly good. And then with this, I think this is great. And then I think there are also some other like miscellaneous places. And I think that the Rat's Nest, the slums, and the docks make up like most of the outer ring. Or at least much of it. Let me dinky my oiter. Hmm. So I think we have much of this taken care of. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add link, go into the Rat's Nest. The Rat's Nest is a densely packed houses, businesses, shops, schools, etc. That yo, hey Gremlin, how's it going? Good to see you. We've been I've been working on some stuff. I've sort of decided the at least many of the large like separations of areas within the rings. And right now, there's sort of a rite of passage within my friend group of adding somewhere in a setting called the Rat's Nest. And in this case, I think it is something similar to like Kowloon Walled City in real life, or like the Ramblings from the Septimus Heap book series, where it's like, you know, a collection of densely packed houses, businesses, shops, schools, etc. You know, what have you. That like connect to each other in winding corridors. That is like mostly ungoverned by the rest of the city. Like, the authorities do not go in here. Like it's sort of like its own little mini society within the city. You know, that is actually false. I am a creature beyond time and space. You did remind me, though. I need to find it. Hold on. Where is it? Where are you? Where are you? There's a video that I want to send into meme chat. And you reminded me of it because it's very good. Where are you? I'm looking through my watch history, don't mind me. Hey there, Bob Ross, you are a good role model. Let me just look it up. Okay, I found the channel. Now, hopefully... There it is. Found it. Oh, that's funny. Girl, finger her. Yeah, this is the video. A Clown College pregame. This is what happens in my head constantly. Who put this song on? Very good. Okay, the Resonance is a collection of densely packed houses, businesses, shops, schools, etc. that are connected by winding alleys, streets, alleys, and tunnels. Which the authorities within Marrowhurst do not enter. It acts as a mostly autonomous community within the wider city. With its own structure and its own culture of sorts. There we go. And then we could go more into everything later. I just want to get stuff down. Good thoughts? Yeah, what? It's very good. These guys are my favorite. You gotta watch the live version from '98. Yo, the taxi's here, and then they all get in. Okay, let's see. I think I'm going to add a link to the docs next, just so that I could go, the docs are where most things, both legal and illicit, come in and go out of the... I guess I could just say go in and out of the city. No, I'm gonna say come in and go out of Marrowhurst. Switch from drawing to playing guitar again? Oh, that's sick. I cannot play guitar. I can kind of play piano. I can try and play harp. But like, I don't know, I've never really picked up a guitar all that much. Cause you reminded me, I have the trial version of FL Studio. I need to like learn how to make music. When I say I need to, it's like I want to, and so I should do it because I want to. This being the case, there are multiple more seedy organizations and gangs which operate. That is not how you spell that. Of course. Yeah, a bit too much of a rough texture for most people's liking. I mean, people like it ribbed or bumpy for their pleasure, not sandpaper. So I get it. But also, somebody playing guitar really well is sexy because it shows time and dedication to a skill that has a net positive value to the environment. Like when I say environment, I mean like the local like place that you are playing, not so much like the natural environment. Although I don't know, animals also love the sound of music. Not the movie that's set in the German Alps during World War II. And is actively about like denazifying children and their father. Really? That's usually the opposite stereotype. Like usually it's the bassist and the drummer, like when they're you know practicing alone. Oh my god, they were bandmates. Oh, right, sitting on their amp. I just got it. Yeah, it's like why some people sit on the laundry, like on the laundry machine. I get it. I'm understanding. But wouldn't they just want to be the bassist then? Listen, an acoustic bass is an incredibly sexy instrument. But also, you don't get to sit on an acoustic bass's amp. Let me see. Hmm. With the closeness of the red light district, which we'll get into later, has given the docks a certain, or not a certain, a reputation for I guess. You know, like a jazzy pluck bass. You know. You hear an acoustic bass a lot in stuff like jazz. Or like blues, or, you know, those kind of, that kind of music. Which also is an incredibly sexy set of genres for music. Really? Usually cellos are like, you use a bow on a cello. Is this like a violin versus like fiddle type situation where it's like it's how you use it, not what the instrument is? Because if that's the case, then I think more people should be ditching their bass cello bows and start just plucking that shit. Sorry, I'm looking. Ah, well, violins and fiddles are exactly the same. Like in structure, like literally, the like it's the same instrument. It's just if you play it right, it's a fiddle. That is entirely a joke. Although I do prefer the fiddle sound over the violin sound. But I'm fully able to admit that is personal taste rather than like objective truth. I've heard some pretty good violin. Like, okay, yeah, the double bass, which is what I'm thinking of, is definitely a different size than cello and violin. I don't know what a viola is. Like, I've heard it before, but I've never understood. Viola versus violin. Give me a size. Okay, so from what I'm seeing, it looks like the middle size between a violin and a cello. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. And if people need to throw away their double bass bows and start plucking that shit in a jazzy way. Just ba-dum dum 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 dum. Like that type shit. Cause that's good. That's a good noise. It you can really feel it in the chest, and that's a good marker of a noise. a dirtier reputation. Given the docs a reputation of ill repute. There we go. Yes, which you are correct on. But yeah, like I still stand by my point as well that that is an incredibly sexy instrument. But also, they don't have amps like bass guitars, so like, who's really winning? I'll tell you, the person sitting on that amp. Like, that person is clearly winning. Has led that dots to be a place of ill repute. There we go. Splendid. Is that is inaccurate. I'm not finished. That is a reference to one of my favorite bands, Apocalyptica. They do real good shit with cello. Yeah, of course. Well, no, if I lived in Minnesota, there's a good chance that I could be American and Finnish, because a lot of Finns, like, immigrated there. But also, there would be a good chance that I'd be like Swedish, also. But like, who's really winning? Yeah, instead, the Brits got to me. What? Get that picture of you blowing that bubble. I don't believe so. Oh, right, Bubba. No, because there's a good chance that Bubba may have been Ghislaine Maxwell's horse. So it's God, the fucking the Trump blowing Bubba thing. There is an equal chance, and this is the funniest shit, that either Bubba is Bill Clinton, because that's a common nickname for him, or Ghislaine Maxwell's old horse. Yeah, being Clinton is funnier. You're my big, beautiful Bill. I love you so much. You know, Bill Clinton, I called him my big, beautiful Bill. Yeah, I say that because his willy was big and it was beautiful. It's incredibly beautiful. Couldn't take my eyes off it. But also, if it's the horse, we get to call Trump a horse girl, which is also funny. I got a brand new saxophone. It's going off in the bedroom. Wait, no. His careless whispers going off. Is that your saxophone, or are you happy to see me? Trump plays Clinton sax. We're animaniacs. Wait, it better not be his birthday today. Okay, good, it's not. I hope I'm not streaming on his birthday next year. Oh. Marilyn Monroe? Yeah, I enjoy Marilyn Monroe. I only know she exists, but she brings me joy. Or existed, rest in peace. Yeah. Him and Robert Kennedy Sr. were the good ones, and now we're left with RFK Jr. And, like, their dad lobotomized, like, their sister, so, like, he wasn't a good one. God, I saw somebody enter in and then leave immediately when I talked about, the Kennedy sister being lobotomized because she had autism. Which explains RF Kennedy, like, Jr.'s opinions on autistic people. Like, if you look at the family history, like, it makes sense, but it's incredibly fucked. Also, the main place of work for many of the residents within the outer ring. True. You know, the assassin was actually a member of the technocracy. Yeah, I'll accept that into my worldview. They just used magic to blow up his head, but made it look like a sniper. Also, I like that in World of Darkness, like true faith, it's not what you have faith in that's important. It's that your faith is real and very strong. So it's not like, ah, you believe in the one Lord our God. You're a strong Catholic. No, it's just it's anybody. It's anything. Do you strongly believe in it? Then it empowers you. And I like that. Because it honestly falls much more in line with like the reality is very loose, and it's all a consensus of what people generally believe. Like it fits much better with that. Oh, true, right. What are the other people? I forget, the different the different houses, like the Hermes where Tremere used to be. Them, they would make his head explode and make it look like a sniper shot him. Like, oh, his head exploded. He must have been shot. It must have been the grassy knoll. The Mythbusters are just a couple of mages. There you go. I think that is good for a general thing of the docks. Add link to the shipyard. Welcome to the shipyard. The shipyard is the place where Hartford builds most of its ships. This makes it an incredibly important part of the city to maintain control over. There we go. Okay. City guard activity is at its highest here compared to the rest of the outer ring. We're working in a terraforming project to help solidify and reinforce the consensus. Oh, 100%. Yeah, no. Like, there's probably a shit ton of, members of the technocracy that are, like, involved in all areas of, like, things like rewilding and, like, like natural resources and ecology. All of them being like, see, this makes sense. There are no magical creatures here. It's all just normal animals. Let me reload that, because it was a massive lag spike that I didn't realize. There we go. Man, like, those bitches are all over the place. I mean, they gotta make you believe that dragons don't exist. Oh, 100%, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. God, without the context of this being the world of darkness, i.e. a fictional setting, this just sounds like conspiratorial, like dumb fuckery. And that is what I love about this setting. Like, no context, it's like, oh, I guess you're talking about, like, the lizard people inside of Hollow Earth, okay. Which are real in the setting. They are a real thing in the setting of World of Darkness. God, it'd be so funny to have that clipped out of context in the same way as that you're just gonna edit what I say to make it sound like I said I think Coolsville sucks. I think Coolsville sucks. You should. I highly recommend it. In fact, I require it. Hey, you getting up from your nap, miss? Here, compared to the rest of the outer ring. That's pretty much what it is. Let me see. May be something going on under the orders of the yard master. So this is just hearsay. Looks like it'll be -6 tonight. God damn. I'm assuming that's in Celsius, which is, Jesus Christ, kind of cold. -6 Kelvin! That is literally impossible. Only in Norway. the fucking no. Oh, Norway. Yeah, that's fucking cold. Not if you're a mage. Well, you have to believe that you're not cold. Like the thing that's fascinating about mages is that because they have their own little pockets of consensus and thus they control it with their own minds, they have to believe what they're doing. It's like orcs. They believe red makes them go faster, so it makes them go faster. It's like that, but with mages, it's even wilder, and it doesn't require multiple people believing it at once. In fact, multiple people believing something actually makes it harder for a mage to do what they want. Five million people believing it's gonna be fucking cold, and then one mage going, nuh-uh. Nuh-uh, no way. Also, I hope that we get snow that's in, like, December and January instead of a fucking, like, flash freeze in February that instantly turns into ice. That would be fun. And has the power go out for a week. That has happened very recently. Congrats on that. I like snow. I like snow. I don't so much like ice. This could just be hearsay. I don't want to know what he's doing yet, because I want to just get the general idea of what's going on. Also, I'm a little jealous of Eastern Oregon because they get actual snow. They get actual snow for multiple weeks at a time instead of just even a month at a time. It's definitely not like Norway snow. Not in a long shot. I hate snow. It's cold and wet and gets everywhere. I hate sand. It's coarse, rough, irritating. It gets everywhere. A red light district. Or maybe the slurms. We'll make new slums, and we'll make millions. Slums are what they say on the tin. It is the least well off section. Well, X is right next to C on my keyboard, so that makes sense. It makes sense that I would slip up. Sex. No. God, that fucking video. Let me put that into meme chat real quick. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is. This is awesome. Sex. No. Is he's pointing. Over the city. Hmm. I have a thought. I have a thought, and I want to run it by people before I go through with it. So, because of the general Fae fuckery, right, and people not trusting the Fae for good reason, would there be larger amounts of prejudice for elves and half-elves? Because of the idea that they've been touched by the Fae. And if so, would they be denied any amount of social well-being and end up being stuck in slums or in their own communities in the outskirts? I'm thinking something like the Grey Quarter in Skyrim. but like actually better thought out. You know, where like the Dark Elves, because the also, it doesn't make sense for Skyrim to be 200 years in the future of the Third Era, because that's 200 years after a volcanic eruption. And if there's like recent immigrants because of the volcanic eruption after 200 years, that makes no sense. Like, it would make more sense for them to have already been there for multiple hundreds of years, like a couple hundred years, instead of them being like new arrivals, and have them be more established but still have tension within the community. I don't know. Like, it would kind of make more sense if Skyrim took place like a couple decades after after Oblivion rather than like a couple centuries. On an Elven timescale that is recent, less so for Elder Scrolls Elves. And also, yeah, that is recent, but also like, okay, so here's the thing, right? There was a local eruption of a volcano in the very early 1980s, Mount St. Helens. Nowadays, the entire top of the mountain is gone. And the towns around it and the local ecosystem were completely ravaged by the volcanic eruption and the ash and everything. And now, only a few decades later, people are returning and the nature is recovering. So, through that context, it doesn't make sense to me for there to still be people running from that eruption centuries after it happened. Because that eruption happened right around, like, you know, Morrowind and Oblivion. Like after Oblivion, not after Oblivion, maybe after Oblivion, but like definitely after Morrowind. I don't know, like if you changed nothing else about the game, but instead of like centuries, it was decades, I feel like it would be better. I mean, I guess, but I don't want to give him that little credit because he like wasn't the only one to work on that game. That was not a big team, but that was a team of people that worked on that game. Right, there is deeper stuff within it. Do I prefer Morrowind era lore? 100%. I'm like actively following Project Tamriel Rebuilt. Like I can't wait for more progress on Skyrim Home of the Nords. Because like I want to see what they do with it. I'm so excited. And I also like Project Cyrodiil and like High Rock 421, I think. Like that and like Hammerfell and everything, and there's even talk of eventually doing Akavir, which is cool as hell. Like, yeah, of course I love Morrowind era lore. It's sick as hell, and I could talk for ages about it. But like, I definitely think there is more than just wanting Dark Elves in Skyrim or having them in the Grey Quarter. Like, yeah, that's definitely a part of it. Of course they wanted Dark Elves in Skyrim. That's why they're there. Or that's why they are there. God, the there sound merger was insane for the English language. Confusion to this day. Like, there used to be a bigger distinction between there and there. And when I say there, I mean they apostrophe R-E. I don't even know what THEIR sounded like before the merger. Like, I know that who as in the number, and the other who's like TOO and TO used to. Oh, you gotta go? Alright, so yeah, I'll continue my rant. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, I know two as in the number, like, used to pronounce the W. It used to be like "wall," but then people stopped pronouncing the W, and then it slowly became two. Same with two and two. Which I believe that TO and TOO, the difference was that there was a lengthened vowel. Because Old English used to have a lengthened vowel system. If I remember right, I may be wrong. Whoa, two and two, I think. Or is it to? I don't know. I'm not an expert on Old English. If you want definitive answers, go to an actual expert. Like, I want to learn Old English because it's fascinating. And, like, apparently a lot of people who speak, like, Lower Saxon and, like, Dutch have a much easier time understanding Old English, which makes a lot of sense. Because the Angles and the Saxons and the Jutes came over and their language became Old English. And so it makes sense that people from the Saxony, like the Saxon region of Germany, would be able to understand Old English better than modern English speakers. Also, Danish is weird. That's like a completely separate thing. Danish is weird. Like, from what I've heard of the language, like, I may need to be corrected if I'm wrong, is like a North Germanic language, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, Faroese, Icelandic. But with like the ra noise for the R that like some German and French has. It's weird. It's weird and fascinating. Is where many of the less desirable and such as elves and half elves due to their assumed connection with the Fae. Or not assumed, because they are connected. Their connection with the Fae. There we go. You know, like, they do have a connection with the Fae, right? Because, like, they're elves. That's really funny with the sex. Now, he spoiled the second movie, bro. For context, I have not seen it. I don't even know if it's out yet. It might be out. I have not watched it. The second Five Nights at Freddy's movie. What? You spoiled the second fucking movie. I gotta watch it spoiler free now. Okay. That being said, I apologize once again. I will be on beat. Sit back, relax, enjoy the music. Get up, get down, jump around. Debate whether or not it's party rockers or party rock is, and I will return. Did you know? Gaming? I know, absolutely insane. Unheard of. Very much not exclusively elves and half-elves, due to their connection with the Fae. And the assumptions that come with it. I definitely don't think that this is an everywhere thing. I definitely don't think that this part is like an everywhere in Faden type thing. Like, they definitely tend to have more of their own communities. Right, but I definitely don't think that this kind of prejudice is as prevalent in other places. Like for instance, Crawburg, not a thing. Not really a thing. Like there's still prejudice for other people, right? Just with the elves and half elves, I don't think that's really a thing in Crawburg. But we'll get to that. And I can focus way more on all these places later. Later. Squiddy. Alright, where is... At link. Marrowhurst. Red light district. The red light district is an unofficial district where sex workers of all stripe ended up congregating for economic opportunity and relative safety. Economic opportunity as it's next to the docks, and relative safety. Due to its connection with said docks, there is also a large amount of illegal activity taking place within the red light district. And yet it remains a popular stop for many travelers and traders. There we go. Okay, so there are definitely these, and that's great. Right, we have these. That is splendid. I think I want to do the basics of a couple more before we end it today. I definitely want to get down the custodian square before we end, and maybe a couple more. And we will be going into like more depth on these like another time, I feel. Let me just do this for fun's sakes. I like watching it go. Down here, we make our own beer. Each day's a fest out in the rat's nest. That is a thing from a friend's game from like multiple years ago. Yeah, no, right. Custodian Square at length. Clicking. I'm clicking. The custodian square is a square which has an important historical connection to the holy site. It is adjacent to and is the place where largest annual market in Hartford takes place. During the harvest season, because harvest is a season. So fun fact, before we called it the autumn or fall, in Old English, and you can see this a lot in like Dutch and German as well, where their names are derived from this, is the title for the season between summer and winter was Harvest, or harvest. And it was, as the name implies, the time when you harvested everything. That's when the fruits of the earth came to be. And so during this season, I think, is when like the biggest market happens because you have the most stuff to sell. And if you're able to sell it, maybe you'll get a bit extra to like, you know, if you're selling your surplus, or if you're a dedicated craftsman and you're selling some extra during this time, then maybe you'll have a bit extra money to spend with during the more harsh winter months. And maybe if you didn't get so much, or you want something that you don't grow yourself or something, then maybe it's a good place to go. Yeah, it's a market. Why am I trying to explain a farmer's market? Why am I trying to explain a farmer's market to people who probably already know what that is? Like most of us know what a what like a market is. My city has markets all the time. I don't know why I'm explaining something like that. I'm probably just seeming like an idiot, which is not an issue, but also like I know things. I may not be smart, but I'm definitely the knower. Oh boy, pardon me. Many people come from come from far and wide, though mostly from other parts of Hartford to buy and sell their wares. Yeah. Period. If you are looking in Hartford and actually no, just in general, because they have the blockade on the rest of the sound. For something that is special or just hard to find, this market may be the best place to find it. Alrighty. I think this is pretty good for the day, don't you think? I am getting a bit tired and it is getting closer to 3, so I am going to go to this and do my ending read now. I've been Bajongles. You can find me here on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, noon Pacific Standard Time. I would much appreciate a follow. Speaking of follow, you can follow me over on Bluesky and Tumblr, both at BigBoyArt1, username Bajongles. And if you're watching this on YouTube, hi YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. It was a wonderful time. I will be back on Sunday to do more Lego Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace. And so with that, I will catch you all on the flip-flop. Bye-bye!